Hello and welcome back to the channel where we are building a video game from scratch using Love2d and Lua. Yesterday we got our bats flying towards us. So no matter where we are, they'll kind of start tracking us and fly towards us, and we can add as many as we want. And there's collision detection, at least for the bats to us. Now we don't have where we can attack them just yet, but that is not next on the menu. What we're doing is, this is them flying towards us, so the next step is to basically stop them from tracking us. Once they reach about right there, like when they're just about in our range of spellcasting, that's where they stop. Hey Loki, what's up? Have a good evening. Hope you're having a good evening. So we're gonna see if we can get our bats to stop when they're however far away that is from us, because we want them to start attacking us, but we want them to be within range of us hurting them if they are in range of hurting us, to be, kind of just fair. So that's what we're going to be trying to work on today. And we'll see how it goes. I don't think it'll be that difficult, but let's take a look at the bat walk state. What, man? Okay. Let's take a look at the bat walk state, and we'll rename our TMUX session to be called, Bat distancing. Okay. So our bat entities have a bat walk state, and I know they're not walking, but dude, what is going on? I feel like my caps lock. Okay. Hold on one sec. I gotta turn on I have caps lock as escape for NeoVim setup, but when I turned off my computer, it reset it. So that's why I was all screwed up. Caps lock needs to be escape. I don't know where this is. It'd be like a keyboard manager. Oh, here. Remap a key. Caps lock to escape. Okay. So I think now this is on. So now I should be able to go into visual mode and exit. Nice. It is really slow though. There's like half a second of latency for that. I don't like that. But that's Windows subsystem from Linux for you. Okay. So here we basically have a whole pursuit logic, and the pursuit logic is just if we're within well, hold on one sec, because it's like we're saying, if our player's like up and to the left of the bat, we're going to give them a diagonal that's going towards us. But here, if we're within half a pixel of being equal either on the x-axis or the y-axis, we're gonna then just move us orthogonally either up, down, left, or right. So we need both of these things to not happen if our distance between our player to our bat is shorter than some distance. And I don't know what that is, but we should make a function that just holds the distance of our bat to our player and calculates it. And then if we print that to screen, we can kind of get a value that looks about right for our distance, and then only do this movement if our distance is greater than that threshold. And then we can worry about triggering the attack. So I think we should have a field called distance to player. And it'll start off as 0, but we'll have a function called get distance to player. And when we run this function, it'll assign the distance to player to be equal to whatever the global players. Well, we have to think about this we've got to do some Pythagorean theorem, I'm pretty sure, because we need to calculate the distance between 2 points. I guess we don't need Pythagorean theorem exactly. No, we kind of do. I think we do just need the hypotenuse length between 2 different points, right? Because let's say our player's at 0, 0 top left, and our bat is at 10, 10. 10 pixels to the right, 10 pixels down. What's the distance between those 2 points? The distance is the hypotenuse. Yeah, it's the leg. But then if we shift it, if we shift any 2 points, the distance will always be the hypotenuse. Is there a different way of calculating the distance? If it's orthogonal, I think it's easy. But anything other than orthogonal, I think we've got to do some Pythagorean. So when we run this function, get distance to player, we should be able to just run it with no parameters because there's only one global player and we're calculating the distance from self. So I think we can do this where we can say the distance to player is going to be set to whatever C length is, the C hypotenuse leg of our triangle. So how do we figure out what the triangle is? Well, all we have to do is calculate the distance. The difference in x is the A. The absolute value of x is the A leg. The absolute value of the difference of the y values are going to be the B leg, and then we do Pythagorean theorem. So, not what I wanted. Let's do a local variable called A length, and we'll also get a B length, and we'll also get a C length. I don't know if I can do this where we can kind of initialize 3 variables as 0 like that. I don't know if that's legal in Lua. I'm going to ask ChatGPT if this is legal in Lua. Let's see. Okay, it doesn't like that. You have to... Okay, you have, it looks like I'm almost right. You just have to assign all as one values, or as individual values. So we have to say 0, 0, 0, but then it should let us do it according to Chat God. So we'll see, we give ourselves 3 variables, A, B, and C. The distance to player, let's do this where we say, okay, well now let's initialize A length to be equal to, and A will be the difference in the X position. So we'll take our global player's X position, our Tashio's X position. We'll subtract our own X position, which is a self.entity.x. That's the bat itself, entity.x. And we'll take the absolute value of that. That's our A. Math.absolute value. That should be our A length. Now we can calculate the B length, which is going to be very similar, just it's going to be the player's Y minus, the difference between the entity's Y and the player's Y. Okay. Yes, now we need to square it. So I guess we can do also A squared and B squared and C squared. Okay. So we get 0 values initialized for all of those variables. We calculate the A length, we calculate the B length, and then we calculate the C length. And this is where we use, well, we can calculate the squared to make our stuff a little prettier. We could say A squared is going to be whatever our length is, squared. We can either times it by itself, or I want to say there's like a math.power. X and Y. Math.pow. X and Y. Let's just do this. We'll just times it by itself. And then we'll calculate our B squared. Okay, and then our C length is going to be equal to, we actually have to say C squared. Okay, so C squared, A squared plus B squared is C squared. So once we have C squared, we have to calculate C length by square rooting our C squared to just get our C. So we're going to say math dot square root of C squared is going to be C length, and we assign C length into distance to player field. Now, once we've got distance to player field, we want to print it out to test that it's close to accurate, or hopefully it looks accurate, and then we can calculate, or that we can decide what distance from our player the bat should be before they stop. So we're gonna put in this self dot distance to player field, and we'll put it right above our bat. But we need to call the method we just defined. We have our getDistanceToPlayer function, but we need to call it. So let's just call it in the update because we just always want the distance to player to be assigned into the distance to player field. And then hopefully we'll see the value there. Okay. It doesn't like line 27. We have the scene, so we can take the self.scene. Let me look at our scene class real quick. We have a player, right? It's a self.player in the scene. Okay. So it should be self.scene.player.x. I don't know why the global wouldn't work there, but let's just see if this stops it yelling. Self.scene.player.y. Okay, let's try this. So we're looking for that value once they turn to flying state. 27, it doesn't like it. Self is a nil value. Oh, because walk state. No, yeah, we do have a self here. Self.distance to player. So it doesn't like... What? It doesn't like this where we say self.entity. We have our self.entity here. So why would it not like this? We're using it elsewhere. Right? Yeah, we're using self.entity here. No problem. Let's see what it says again once it kicks on. Index self, a nil value. Index global self, a nil value at 27. So 27. Self is a nil value either for the entity or the scene. Self.scene. We are pulling the self.scene. We should have this. Let's try to do it from our global scene view and see if it likes that. No. Okay. Did we initialize things wrong? No. It's mad about the self here. Scene view. Yeah, we do have a scene view.player. We should be able to access the X and Y and everything. So self.entity.x. Yeah, we should have this. What's going on? Let's just see. If we take that out, I don't think we crash. Oh, we do. 33. Wow, it doesn't like... Why does it not like this? We can't use any self-declaration here? Maybe we'll do this here. Maybe we'll do this in the process AI. No. Dude. Get distance to player. It just doesn't like this get distance to player. Are we spelling that wrong? No. It doesn't like when we modify. Distance to player. Yo, we have it. Why? Why won't it let us touch this? Bat walk state. Okay, this might not go. This might go in the entity class and not the bat walk state. It doesn't make sense to me that it'd be crashing here in the bat walk state. Because as soon as we switch to the bat walk state, we initialize this distance to player as 0. So if we were to not run that function, we should run fine and not crash. Okay. So the distance to player is just not getting updated at the moment, but we don't crash. So why is it? Oh, this function self is the state itself. I was thinking we might need it as like a method to the state, but it shouldn't matter because we're using something like this, round to nearest value, and that works fine. And that's not like a method on the state itself. Well, I don't even see where we're using this. Round to nearest value. Where are we even doing that? What the heck? Where are we? We're not doing that? I guess we just don't do that anymore. Okay, we might have to make it a method. Well, let's see if we just say function hello world, and all it does is store a string. Like, can we call this function and have it work fine without it being a method? So in the update, we'll call our hello world. Okay. So yeah, we can call non-method functions here. So what is going on? We have a distance to player. Now we can't, like, if we were to just say distance to player gets 12, do we crash? No, we don't. Okay, so something's wrong in the logic when we try to do a square root of c squared, right? Because if we wanted to do square root of 25, we should get 5 as our distance to player, and we shouldn't crash. 5... No, still 0. What the we're not calling it. We need to call our get distance to player. So in our update, we'll just say get distance to player. Okay, so we are crashing. So where do we call this function? In our... Yo, attempt to index global self a nil value. Why is it nil? We assign it. So if in our function here we say, well, distance to player is actually 25, it won't let us do that. What the heck? Global self. So why... I guess we should add it to the entity, right? We pull our entity, and then we're going to say the distance to player field in our entity is 0. So let's say self.entity distance to player gets 25. Oh, and then we need to print up the entity distance to player, not self. So self dot entity. Now I still think it'll crash. I still think it won't like the self. But why? We're able to do our self entity health here, no problem. So maybe our distance, our entity needs this self distance to player, and we'll just assign it to 0. And we'll try that. Please don't crash. Let's go. Let's go. Shit, man. This is really frustrating. It didn't like 29, which is right here. Self.entity, distance to player. Didn't like this at all. Now this is after we initialize. And we have... I mean, we shouldn't even need that. We're just going to say our entity's distance to player gets updated to 25 and we crash. Dude, why? If we set it outside of the function call, it doesn't like that at all. We must be doing something wrong with our bats. Like, there's got to be something wrong with our bats. Because I don't see why this would be an issue. We have just 3 bats we've manually inserted. And then we say for every entity, we're going to set the animations and whatnot. Let me try just 1 bat, and we'll see if that still screws up. I don't get why this would be the case. Like, literally all I'm trying to do is just print a value of our entity, and I can't do it right now. Okay, so if we have more than 1 bat, it's broken? Oh, our walk state? No. If we have more than 1 bat, as soon as... Well, now we're coming online. Are we... Distance to player 0. Distance to player. Yeah, we're rendering that, but... Oh, we're calling... Dude, okay, so what is going on? If we have 3, does it crash? There's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. Okay. I swear to God, I changed nothing. And it's just working now. Okay, whatever. I'm not gonna jinx it. So we're able to run the get distance to player. Oh, we're not doing... Well, let's see. Let's assign our entities dot get distance to player to be equal to 20 and see if we crash. I'm doing something way wrong. Self.entity, self.entity. We're doing all this self.entity stuff, so why is it upset? Like, if we just said, well, we're gonna get distance to player here in our update function instead of in this method call or the function call, that's all wrong. It's still 0. Get distance to player. Get... Oh, not get distance... Oh, not get distance to player. It's not the method, it's just distance to player. God dang it. That's such a silly mistake. Well, let's see if it still doesn't work. Distance to player, distance to player. Entity, distance to player. What the fuck, man? Okay, we're gonna initialize this to 25 in the entity class. We're not gonna do it here in the function. We're just gonna see. I just want to see 25 on the bats. Okay, 25's on the bats. Okay, so if we were to say, let's take our entity and get our distance to player. And let's just set it to 22 instead of 25. Can we do that when we function call in the update or the process AI? It doesn't like that. Why doesn't it like that? Because we're able to touch our self entity field and modify it. Yet, let's pass in the player here. I don't know why, but let's pass in the player here and see if we can do it. Now it's mad at the self.entity, so why don't we pass in the entity as well, and we'll just call it entity. I don't know why the self is so mad, but we're just going to pass in the player and the entity and see if this fixes it. So when we're going to pass in the player as well as the entity, which is our self.entity. I don't know if it'll like that. Yo, that worked. It looked like it reassigned it to 22 and it worked. So why? It's like we don't have access to... I don't know why it's... I don't know why. But we're able to do this. So let's try to do C length now. So this should be the distance to our player now, and that's what we're printing up. So let's see if we get the value. Okay. Yeah, that's looking about right. 40 pixels away, 20 pixels away. That's looking right. So let's figure out what an appropriate C length is. We'll see what value they are when they hit our spellcast. And it looks like they're going to hit right around 35 or 30 maybe. So let's only do our process AI movement if this player, well, this function literally modifies the entity's dot distance to player. So once we run this, we can say if the entity's distance to player is greater than that 30 pixel threshold, then we want to do all of our AI movement. So let's try to do that and see. Let's see if they stop moving once they're within 30 pixels away from us. Nice. Okay. So it's not exactly at 30, but look at our spellcast. It's like just barely touching them. So maybe 25. Get them a bit closer. So we'll get them a bit closer. And we won't print up the distance because we just want to see how it looks. Okay, so let's see where they stop. So they're going to fly towards us. and they're going to stop when they get... Okay. And then if we move, they're going to fly to us and stop. Yeah, I think 3 is too many bats, for sure. But this is working. And then they're within spitting distance for their attack, and they're within getting hit by our spellcast distance. So I think that's pretty good. I do think only 2 bats, though. See, I don't like how close they got to one another. Yeah, they're super close to being the same, and I don't like that much. I don't know. I feel like the only way to fix this is to change their diagonal and orthogonal movement. Instead of... because basically they move at a perfectly diagonal rate until... and I changed their speed, right? So they're a slightly different walk speed. But they've got the same movement no matter where they start. So like if they're both up here, they're both going to move diagonal until their Y position's the same as us, then they move sideways. So like here, they're both moving the same exact trajectory, even though their vector towards me would be different. But they're not doing a custom trajectory. They're doing just a diagonal trajectory until they're orthogonal to us, then they're moving straight over to us. So I'm trying to think of how we can change the math so that they inherit a unique vector that goes straight towards us rather than the diagonal one that we're currently getting. I don't know how to do it. How would we tell the X and Y position to go at a different... I don't know, because right now we're doing the movement based on, if we look at our process AI in our bat walk state, right here. We do it based on... all we do is shift our X and Y based on a walk speed. Yeah, we don't... this is like... not very good. A table of desired X and Y positions and make it so other entities can't choose the same ones. Yeah, like instead of this player X being exactly our player, but like near our player, so that they target not the same exact position to end up at, but slightly modulated a bit. I'm thinking the way to do it is the tween function we've got. because we can... Shoot. I think the tween might be the way to do it. It's just that... Let's see. So if we ignore this for right now... If we ignore this and we just say, let's... I think it's timer.tween. Duration definition. Okay. See, and the duration is what screws me up. But let's just say over the course of 3 seconds, we want to move. And how do we do it? We put in a table and close it. And the table is the value that we want to change. I have to look up how we did this in the past. Timer.tween. Okay, so something like this. Okay, I had it decent. It's just that we have a key, and the key is going to be our self.entities for right now, just the self.entity, and we're going to tween both its x and its y, and the x is going to be tweened to 0, and the y of the entity is going to be tweened to 0 as well over the course of 3 seconds. Now this is what threw me off, is that timer, because I don't know how, depending how far away they are, will take a different time to tween, but let's just see. If we tween over 3 seconds, they should both go to x0, y0 once they start flying, and they do. See how that bottom one flies faster. So like, how do we do we have to have that timer there? I mean, it has to, because otherwise it can't. It doesn't know. It doesn't know how to how fast to do it. Duration and definition. Because basically I want... we could set the duration based on the distance. So like every 10 pixels takes 1 second or something. But I'm curious if we change this 0 to be equal to our player's X position and player's Y position, if it'll adapt as we walk around. That's what I'm really curious about. If that's the case, we might be able to figure out the duration. So let's see. See, it remembered where I was. Oh, actually, this is kind of interesting. They go to where I was, and then they reset. And they'll always take 3 seconds. So if I only move a little bit, they'll go really slow. And if I move really far, they'll fly pretty fast. They're still like totally locked in with one another, though. I don't think this is... I don't know. This is close. I just want this to... I basically want... I want this to not be a duration, essentially. I want this to just tween towards a value and stop at a certain point. So, let me see. Let me see if I can paste this in ChatGPT and see if there's another way to do this. Because that's why I abandoned this. Is because I didn't know the duration. Here, let's see. It says there's a continuous tween. It takes 3 seconds, it takes in a callback and an interpolation type. And then we... Let's see what this looks like. So ChatGPT is saying something like you can add a callback. So if you write a function that is called continuous tween, then it takes in an extra argument here where it says this is linear. And then it also takes in a callback to itself. This is weird, but then okay, and I think I'm doing this wrong. But then it says we call our continuous tween function in our love.load. That doesn't make sense. Let's just try it. We'll say continuous tween will run, and then in our update, which we'll do in our process AI, we're just gonna do timer update. I've got zero faith in this. Come on, man. Yeah, I don't think this will work at all. I don't get why it runs it in the .load. I don't get. Lerp the positions? What is that? This is not right. Oh, yeah, I don't know. I don't think ChatGPT understood what this timer tween did, or I don't know. The duration is what really throws me off, because it's kind of like this value right here that we tween to doesn't get updated until this timer's done, but we want it to tween to an updated value every second. So like every frame, we want it to be going to the new player X, not what the player X was the instant we started the tween, but to keep running it. Let's look up some examples. See, it always takes in this duration. Congrats on you for figuring this out. Yo, yeah, I do really like Chalacade. Moon Knight, right? Not Moon Knight. Moonlight. I know what you're talking about. I'll have to look that up. Cause yeah, I want them to continuously track us, right? And the tween value takes in a mandatory timer. And we can't have... I want them to consistently update. So we might have to try to figure this out. Yeah. Feel free. Share, Squinch. I'd appreciate that. I know he did help me out with the diagonal movement. I don't want... Oh, I don't want to get copyright strike or anything. But I might watch this on break with the volume on and then come back, or maybe we do this tomorrow. Wow, yeah, he's got... Man, I know. I love this guy's stuff is great. He's in Lua too, isn't he? I think he is in Lua. Yeah. I'm gonna have to... I will definitely watch that. Thanks for sharing that. I know I've seen a couple of his stuff. But yeah, we might have to... Yeah, I'm thinking I'm not going to fix it tonight. But I will check out that video and we'll see if I can come back tomorrow and get it done. At least right now we have the distance, right? And if we take this off, which for right now we'll take this off and put back on our distance restricted bat approach. So at least they'll fly towards us until we get a certain distance and then they'll stop. So that's the first part of this. What we're trying to do is the icing on the cake, which is like to have them track us better than what they're currently doing, because they just get synced up and then they get like kind of stuck inside each other, which I don't like. Yeah. See, I don't like how they just become one unit. I did add custom speeds to them so that they wouldn't forever be stuck like one unit like that, which does help. But they're still overlapping. So I will take a look at that Chalacade video and we'll see if I can figure a better system out. But for now we have added bat. What is social distancing? Bat social distancing. to player. Yeah. Then we're going to say needs more accurate vector for approach, because that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow. Okay. So yeah. We'll do that tomorrow. Thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow and we'll get that done. Let's run the credits. Oh, and you know what? Oh, I forgot to add Very Real Rev into the credits. I will add him tomorrow because we already committed. But thanks for watching. If you want to see the source code, it is up on the GitHub. I'm trying to get that achievement on GitHub for 15 stars on the repo, and we're at 12. So if anyone's got a GitHub and wants to help out getting that achievement on GitHub for my repository for Tashio, that would be cool. I think I've got 12 stars on it. But other than that, have a good night. Let's see if we can raid out here. Wardstone Studio. Who is that? Oh, he's playing. I like to raid devs when I can. Oh, Aria ADM. Oh, is she? I think she's playing a game. Yo, hey, no way. Who was that? Squinch. Yo, thank you for the sub, dude. Here, we will add you right now and the Real Rev into the credits, because subscribers get their name in the credits as a supporter of the game. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that. We'll go into credited supporters, and we added where is it? Right here. Okay. So we will add the Very Real Rev from yesterday, and then Squinch. Yo, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That's really cool. Really nice of you. So we got you here in the credits. Let's commit, and then we'll run the credits again. We'll say added 2 credited supporters. Yeah, I like tuning into Chalacade's live streams when he does them. And I see he's been doing more longer form stuff recently, which is really cool. So I do like watching his stuff. Sweet. We'll find... Oh crap, we're in an ad break. My bad. I should have paused that. Thank you for all the supporters. I really appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow, and we'll raid out to... Aria is playing and not developing. I like to get some devs. We'll see if Brightside is doing some Unreal stuff. Okay, he's watching like Ren and Stimpy. Man, I really want to find a dev to raid. Man, I don't see any. Wow, I don't see any devs. This guy's got a cool NeoVim setup, so we'll raid him. It is, I don't know how to say his name, but we'll raid out, and I'll be back tomorrow. Did I do this right? Yes. Okay. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll try to get some better AI for the bats tomorrow, and then we'll add dungeon design for the first dungeon here where we can fall into the pits, and then we'll add the pushable boulders. We've got those already. We just need to place them into the dungeon, and then add the bats and have little puzzles, like little Sokoban style pushing crate puzzles while the bats are kind of tracking us, and that'll be tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the subs. I really appreciate it. Have a good night, Squinch. Have a good night, Loki. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you later.